Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, a Fox Business Network journalist who has close ties to lawyers at Ripple, has publicly stated now that she's got a bit of the inside scoop. She's been told by these lawyers that are close to Ripple that maybe we're going to get a bit of a surprise come a court appearance on Tuesday, April 7th, having everything to do with the attorney-client privilege assertion. So I've got some specifics on that. Also, I got to talk about this Bitcoin mining ban, a proof-of-work ban in New York, or at least that's what they're working on. There's a 2-year moratorium that's put into place. And this should be like a big old I told you so from Chris Larson, co-founder of Ripple, who brought up this exact topic and this concern that there would be this push by lawmakers and also private entities the world over, and you are seeing some of this. So I just want to share with you some of the specifics and a couple of thoughts on that as well. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I've been covering for days, there's been all sorts of speculation from attorneys within the XRP community regarding this upcoming court appearance. It's going to be the SEC and Ripple attorneys meeting with Judge Netburn. And so there's been a lot of speculation about what's going to be discussed here. What are the potential implications? Is this going to be good for Ripple? Is it going to be good for the SEC? Well, now I'm going to give you some speculation from Fox Business Network journalist Eleanor Terrett. She was on BitBoy Crypto's YouTube channel. That's Ben Armstrong who runs that BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel. And she laid down a bit of inside information for us here. And so I actually transcribed the relevant portion, which I'm going to share with you right now. And she said the following. I spoke to lawyers close to Ripple, and they seem to think that she, the judge, may come out with a verdict. Not a verdict for the case, obviously, but an opinion on whether those emails should be shown on Tuesday when she's heard from both parties. So again, pause to note that what she's talking about here is the emails, and also, frankly, it wouldn't just be the emails, it would be the drafts of the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech. That's all one big ball of wax, effectively. So that's what she's talking about right there. There could be a ruling on the spot that these emails and these drafts must be sent out. Now, it's not a guarantee, as she cited. She also said the following. Here we go. She said the following. She probably knows, referencing the judge here, she probably knows what she wants to rule on, but she, wants to get clarification from the SEC, clarification from Ripple, and then she might make a decision then and there. She might not. We might still be waiting for her to make the decision. So I think that is definitely a big thing to watch. That's the quote. So according to lawyers close to Ripple, and she didn't cite who they are, they actually think that's a certainly highly probable thing. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. And in fact, I admit that would be a surprise. If you want a June 7th surprise, that would be it. Because what I've been anticipating is maybe she just wants to get them together. She there's some attorneys that I've cited this in recent days. They've posited that perhaps part of what they want to do, what Judge Netburn wants to do, is have not just this public hearing, but also she can bring participants from both sides into her private chambers, have private discussions, and try and sway them one way or another. And maybe she thinks that the in-person approach might be a bit more impactful, a bit more effective there. So, I mean, if this happens, that would be incredible. But I expect, because the impression I've been getting from the judge is she wants to make this thing like ironclad, bulletproof here, right? And so I just assumed that rather than making a verbal order, right on the spot ordering right then and there, I just anticipated we see more of what we'd seen in the past, which is of like long rulings on specific topics where you can tell she's fully fleshed out ideas and trying to be as specific as possible so that if there's an appeal from the SEC on anything in the future, it's going to be tough for the SEC to win on the front, to actually make progress on that front. That's what I've seen from the judge in the past. And so that would still be my best guess. But hey, what do I know? I'm not the one with the legal background. So if these attorneys, whoever they are, close to Ripple, think that this is something that actually might happen, okay. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. And so my fellow XRP YouTuber DAI shared that clip and also wrote, "There will be grown SEC attorneys weeping on that phone call if she orders those emails released. We will never see those emails." So I'll tell you this. I agree with that concept that we're not going to see those emails ever. Even at the final ruling, after these attorney-client privilege shenanigans are all said and done, and it stands that they must hand this over. If that's the ruling, we're still not going to see them. You're going to see a settlement before you see those documents come out. Like, that's my speculation, admittedly speculation, but they've never fought so hard to hide anything in this case before. I'd be surprised if that ended up not being the case. And so then XRP community member Stefan Huber retweeted that and shared his own prediction, and he wrote the following. Prediction: SEC will say what they already said and insist that it was personal opinion and official position. Netburn will order another in-camera review and in July order that the SEC must turn over the documents, after which the SEC will file a second motion to reconsider or appeal. And so look, no legal background here, but nothing in that sounded wacky to me, other than the fact that the SEC is actually making those claims. Again, the speech here and all this, it's personal opinion of Bill Hinman, but also official position of the Division of Corporation Finance. And look, there's attorney-client privilege there on top of that. We can't have access to. It's just these ideas are mutually exclusive. You can't hold both of these positions. It does not make logical sense. This is a logical fallacy that they're arguing here. But that's what they're doing here. And so the idea, as Stefan posited here, that Netburn might order an in-camera review, that certainly seems plausible. Because my understanding to this point is, I think the number, pulling from memory, is that out of whatever the number of documents was, I think it was over 60, whatever it is, I think that the judge at this point has only done an in-camera review of 10 of the documents. An in-camera review just means in-person review. And then the judge gets to make a decision on those specific ones. So there could be an additional in-person review for the remaining documents. Here's what XRP community member and attorney Fred Rispoli had to say about that. If the SEC loses attorney-client privilege, it can file a reconsideration motion, which will be denied. Then it is on to appeal with Judge Torres. Filing a second reconsideration motion with Judge Netburn would be in the top 3 most embarrassing things the SEC has done in this case, in my opinion. Prediction by Stefan Huber is very reasonable. So there you go. Prediction from a member of the XRP community, and then an attorney within the community, Fred Rispoli, thinks, yeah, it's reasonable to suspect that actually might be the case. But the SEC is not going to stop fighting for this. Of course they are. It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't even matter how it's, because either they get their way on this, or I think that they know they're going to have to settle. I think it's not going to freaking matter. That's just my speculation. But you don't fight this hard for something that wouldn't absolutely devastate your case, because you're not earning any favors with the judge. I'll tell you that. But with this behavior, no. A reconsideration of the consideration, and then you insist that there's this new claim. So you need a reconsideration of the reconsideration, because now you're claiming that it's all actually attorney-client privilege. Well, then why the hell didn't you just claim that from the beginning, you freaking asshats? It doesn't make any damn logical sense. It's completely absurd. It really grinds my gears, folks. On to the next topic now, though. Here's a headline from ABC News. Landmark bill to limit crypto mining passes New York legislature. So check this out. Here's some of the specifics. And again, this is particularly interesting to me considering the warning that Chris Larson put out a couple months ago, which I'll highlight in a second here, and the tremendous pushback from all the Bitcoin maxi trolls out there who insist that this is a non-issue. Well, look, I'm not speaking on the fairness at this exact moment. I'm happy to talk about that, of whether or not this should go down like this. I will share my perspective on that. But even setting that aside, to just stick your head in the sand and pretend like it wouldn't be an issue never made sense. And I've articulated that on the channel before. But check out, I want to share part of this article. Reads as follows. New York lawmakers have passed a milestone environmental measure designed to tap the brakes on the spread of cryptocurrency mining operations that burn fossil fuels. Both supporters and opponents say that the closely watched bill, approved early Friday by the state Senate, is the first of its kind in the United States. If it becomes law, It would establish a 2-year moratorium on new and renewed air permits for fossil fuel power plants used for energy-intensive proof-of-work cryptocurrency mining, a term for the computational process that records and secures transactions in Bitcoin and similar forms of digital money. Proof of work is the blockchain-based algorithm used by Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies. Now, if you've been paying attention, folks, the fact that this is happening shouldn't be surprising. The fact, and look, you're talking about one state in the United States. I got it. But you're seeing a lot of squealing from all sorts of entities. I've been highlighting them along the way over the last couple months. But remember this headline from Cointelegraph? This is from March 29th this year, a little over 2 months ago, from CoinDesk. Bitcoiners scoff at Chris Larson's $5 million campaign to force a Bitcoin code change. Now, mind you, Chris Larson holds a lot of Bitcoin. He's very pro-Bitcoin. I do believe him. I take him at his word on that, and he understands that in order for, or certainly at a minimum, what would be best for XRP and this crypto asset class would be for Bitcoin continuing to thrive. He is sharing legitimate concern. It doesn't mean you have to agree with him necessarily. That's fine. A lot of people in our community don't, and I respect that too. That's fine. But there's nothing wrong with him bringing up these legitimate concerns because he's just observing how people have been responding. And on top of that, he has spent an inordinate amount of time on the issue of climate change. And I won't be speaking on the politics of that, but he has been. So it's something that he believes in. Doesn't matter what I think or you think, he believes in it, and he's been pushing for it. And so to him, this is genuinely important. Now, as far as whether or not Bitcoin is actually destroying the world right now, no, it's not. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's like Bitcoin, the amount of energy that Bitcoin uses, while yes, it's an energy hog compared to XRP, unquestionably true. It doesn't make sense to be using technology like that, not logical sense. When you've got much more efficient technology also in existence, but hey, standards matter to people. I get it purely because Bitcoin was here first. Okay, humans should be able to decide that. But the amount of energy used by Bitcoin, it's like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. It's almost nothing. If you look at global energy consumption, it's a big nothing. Now, I did listen to an interview between Bitcoin maximalist Anthony Pompliano on his show and Chris Larson. He had Chris Larson on for probably close to an hour, and I was looking forward to that. And I remember as soon as it came out, I listened as soon as I could. And it was a respectful conversation. They seemed to disagree on some things, agree on others. But they disagreed on the actual energy number consumption. So I'll just say this, and I don't remember the numbers because it's been a couple months at this point, but if Chris Larson's numbers were correct, it's a lot higher than what Bitcoin maximalists would have you believe today. Even so, it's still just a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. So it's still like nothing, right? But if he is right, and he's using the right category of number, I can't remember what the exact metric was, because again, as I admit, I'm pulling from memory from a couple months ago. If he's using the correct metric, he's looking at the correct data point, then if Bitcoin continues to get adopted another 5 to 10 years, it will be just an insane amount of energy to the point where it's no longer something that can be ignored. And so he's trying to prevent Bitcoin from getting to that point by taking action now. That's his perspective. Whether you disagree or you agree with him, that's fine. Whatever you think, that's perfectly fine. For me, so I'm not saying I'm entirely on board with what he's pushing for here, but I will say this. I do not like the government coming in and interrupting what free markets are doing when it comes to this stuff, especially when there are, frankly, if you want to solve energy problems, my gosh, this is not where you start. This is not where you start. But look, New York's been, they've been really anti-Bitcoin pretty much from the beginning. They are at a minimum extra aggressive. And to me, that's just kind of ridiculous. But look, again, a couple months ago, Chris Larson, hey, here are the warning signs, just so you know, they're going to keep coming. And now you've got New York acting like this. Now, I don't think that this is going to be fruitful, because even if this goes the way that these, saviors of the climate think that it's going to go for them, and this path, okay, fine. Even if it does, you understand, like, any mining that's occurring there, it would just move to a state next door, right? You get to vote with your feet in this country, right? You're talking about one state here. It's not going to eliminate. You could eliminate all of the mining from the United States. I think that would be ridiculous, especially if Bitcoin is globally adopted for the next hundreds of years, whatever it is. Like, imagine that we don't allow that to be in the United States. What that might that mean for us having a stake in the United States, or in terms of you know our piece of control over the decentralized Bitcoin blockchain? Because look, if you say it's not allowed in the United States, it's still going to happen somewhere else. Okay? And then what? So then you let the disaster happen somewhere. You've just shifted where you've not solved the problem. This is such a childish approach, and all you're doing is impacting in a negative fashion open and free markets. That's all that you're doing right here. It's destructive, and they haven't thought through what the logical conclusion of this all would be. It's completely irrational. I could not be more against this. So I'm pro Bitcoin. I think it's an energy hog and it's stupid, but if this is what people are going to adopt, okay, I'll be on board with it. I think it makes much more sense to use a cryptocurrency like XRP where you don't have these layer 1 issues because the technology now exists. But hey, if purely because it's the first, it's going to continue to be adopted to this degree, and maybe it'll always be number 1 in market cap. I'm not convinced it will, but if it will be, then okay, fine. I don't need it getting attacked by the government then. Hell no. I'm not interested in that. And so here, Anthony Pompliano, Bitcoin Maximalist, tweeted out, New York State wants to ban computers doing math, and then he had a little laughy emoji. And I retweeted that and wrote, I definitely find this development to be ridiculous. I don't think any level of government should attack proof of work. Still, I'm glad XRP holders don't have to worry about this type of problem since it consumes almost no energy. And then there was also this from Bitcoin Maximalist Anthony Pompliano. Bitcoin mining protects a person's private property. New York is explicitly attacking American citizens' right to protect their private property with their proposed Bitcoin mining ban. This will likely be deemed a violation of the Fifth Amendment and unconstitutional. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out in courts. I don't pretend to have any insight on that. I just can tell you that I personally am against the government jumping in this capacity. I don't want to see that. I don't like the SEC getting in and trying to mess stuff up for XRP holders. I don't like the government jumping in and messing stuff up for the Bitcoin maxi trolls who enjoy eating room temperature cottage cheese. And I just need to back off a bit here. And now here's another maximalist named Jimmy Song, very popular within the Bitcoin community, and he wrote, New York should ban dryers, microwaves, and private jets. Folks, like I said, if you really want to fix this problem, you have genuine climate concern, this is not the place to start. It doesn't make logical sense, and you can attack it in one state. You are not going to solve the problem. You're just removing economic opportunity in your state to virtue signal. No, thank you. Then there was this from another Bitcoin maximalist, Jason Williams. He wrote, why aren't we banning gas-powered lawn equipment in New York? The impact of lawn care is an ecological disaster. No kidding. And then there was this. There's this article from Vantage. What are the top 10 greenest cryptocurrencies? You might be surprised. And there's a piece, part of it down here. I think there's like a couple sentences I wanted to share with you. Yeah, take a look at this. According to an April report from server company TRG Data Centers, XRP was the least energy intensive of the 7 major coins it reviewed, with the others being Dogecoin, Cardano, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. It, meaning XRP, consumes 0.0079 kilowatt hours of electricity per transaction, which is only 0.00112% of the 707 kilowatt hours Bitcoin consumes per transaction. So again, the number for XRP for a transaction, 0.0079 kilowatt hours. That number for Bitcoin, 707 kilowatt hours. Not even close. And it's completely unnecessary. You don't need proof of work to secure a network. XRP is perfectly secure without mining. It is not necessary. It was the first solution for the double spend problem, but there are other ways to solve the double spend problem. David Schwartz, Arthur Brito, and Jed McCaleb came up with that. XRP and the XRP ledger. And then the article also states, to put that differently, Bitcoin's energy consumption per transaction represents 8.9 million% increase over XRP. Energy consumption, 8.9 million% higher for every transaction than XRP. I am so glad we don't have to worry about this problem. I'm so thankful for that, because so many cryptocurrencies, they don't exactly have the best layer 1 technology, and we don't have to worry about this nonsense, all this BS. It is what it is, folks. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.